Welcome back, everybody, to the daily show. I'll be breaking down the big mega cap stocks. So, before we get started, please hit that like button, and that is greatly appreciated. And if you're new here, definitely consider subscribing. Now, if you're really serious about trading and you want to do this full time and get daily trade ideas, swing trade ideas, live trading, and all kinds of long term and short term setups, definitely check out my link down in the description for a Patreon. And now let's get right into it, guys. All right, so welcome back once again, guys. And yes, my voice is a little crappy. I'm under weather, so wish me luck. Get out of it very soon. Just not having a good time, and that's why no videos came out last 2 days. But again, big data coming out tomorrow. You can see December job report and the unemployment report that's coming out tomorrow. You can see right here on this calendar that tomorrow we got some big data. We have unemployment rate, we have non-farm payroll, and then in top of that, I think at 10 o'clock we have some decision or discussion from the Supreme Court on Trump's tariff, and that's going to shake up or probably even break up the market. We'll see how that goes going into tomorrow's session. Now, what the market did today, you can see Dow was again up 0.5%, Nasdaq down close to 0.5%, S&P flat, and Russell hitting another all-time high up over 1%. 11 sectors. Energy led the way on top, and that's typically not good for S&P 500, but energy led the way on top. Consumer defensive, consumer cyclical, real estate, industrials, financial, and laggard out there was technology and healthcare. Stock market map, you can see here, massive rally. As a matter of fact, I actually had shares of Oxy and some of those oil USO shares that I sold yesterday. And you can see big greens right here on energy and consumer defensive as well. Consumer cyclical. Tesla was up slightly, and then Amazon is definitely showing strength, up nearly 2%. Google up over 1%. Healthcare taking a beating today, especially Eli Lilly and some of the other ones. And then we have Broadcom down over 3%, Intel, AMU, AMD, Nvidia down 2%, Microsoft down over 1%, PLTR, you name it, all those are down on the day. So, yes, it's not red all across the board, but a lot of rotation back and forth in between big names and also into like industrials names, maybe even financial, and then consumer defensive into energy names. Fear and greed index. You can see we might be going back into fear tomorrow. We'll see how that goes. But right now, it's setting on neutral. We got a number that's reading at 46. So we'll see how that goes. And again, this big data coming out tomorrow. So, that is going to shake up the market, guys. So watch out for that. And now let's talk about especially the big name. And we're going to start with Tesla. On Tesla stock is up 1%. So let's talk about Tesla, guys. And you guys all are on X. A lot of people are on X, and you guys saw people putting out misinformation and trying to trap a lot of these retail traders, investors that are actually new in the market. And this is where I come in and I would say this is just bull crap. When you post things on X and say, hey guys, 550 calls are still coming in on Tesla, 600, 700. I mean, come on, this was a massive monster move. And now what's coming out, even a few days ago, that Elon Musk actually bought here. And I actually, without even looking at anything, guys, I told you that Elon Musk bought, and this is why the stock is going up. And Elon Musk himself, his brother, his family members will start selling. And guess what? You're going to get a big bag right up here, and the stock will come back to 430. As a matter of fact, I don't have the screenshot, but I even said, especially within my Patreon group, I even posted that Tesla 430 will come, mark my word. And look at what happened. 424 today, a new low, bar to bar, a new low today. And then we saw a bit of a bounce because where? Well, it came all the way down to the lower band. I mean, if I was telling people that, hey, Tesla cannot go higher here, people would say, oh, this guy is a big bear. As a matter of fact, we shorted Tesla, we made money, but I had more money, but I don't like holding a short position because usually, market and the big names, they go up. So if we short, you want to take profit somewhere. You cannot maximize your profit all the time on a stock like Tesla. I got out, but look at where it came. And these were actually 430 puts. Now, what is next? Well, one thing I want to say here that when things are high and everybody's chasing and everybody's bullish, don't buy it. Do the opposite. Tesla. Now it's holding 432. If it can actually get over this 438, this blue line on your screen, then watch out for a move up to 445 and maybe even 464 at that point. Tesla earnings coming up, and I don't think this earnings is going to be great because of the sales and the numbers. So if Tesla cannot actually stay over 432 with earnings coming up, there might be more downside on Tesla in the short term. On AMD, it's down 2.54%. Now, AMD, another play that you guys will not see here that we took, but this was a day trade right about here. And I think I talked about it in my last video, which I made about 4 days ago. And this thing is still going down. Look at where it came down to today, guys. All the way down to the support right here, almost 202, 203, right? And then no bounce at all. AMD also, the earnings coming out next month, early next month. But as of right now, the bear flag is still intact, or this wedge, we're coming down. If this support does not hold, watch out for a dump off into the gap very soon. To the upside, now there will be resistance at 213. If we can get over that, watch out for 217, and then we can talk about 226, which we saw. But again, when the trend is down, no matter what the news is, the stock will come back again to the downside. And because we have this massive gap, I think 170, you guys will see that very soon on AMD within maybe 6 to 8 weeks, or maybe even before that. On Meta, it's down 0.41%. So Meta was one of the play that I took, but just coupled today, right about here at 638, it dropped down to almost 636, and then I actually caught a nice bounce. And anybody can do that, especially if they follow the rules of trading. You put a stop, and it's just a day trade. I'm not going long or anything here. You can see 638 support. What happened? We went under lower Bollinger Band and then came back up, retracing and closing right above that 50-day moving average. So that was actually a $10 bounce almost that I caught. Really nice on Meta. Now, Meta here you can see definitely not looking strong as Meta coming down and making new lows, bar to bar, another new low here on the daily time frame. And 638 is the level to hold. If that breaks, you're gonna see a dump off down to this gap, which is at almost 616, 617. To the upside, 645 has to hold for more upside, possibly up to 656 and even 664. And then we can talk about more upside here on Meta. As of right now, Meta definitely does not look that it wants to, move higher and close the gap on top. We might be pulling back into this gap unless we see some really bullish price action tomorrow. And here's my X account. And if you guys are on there, definitely give me a follow. And there is no subscription, nothing. It's totally free. And you can always ask me a question if you have right here on X. And all my videos, charts, all the information that I have, I do post right here on X. Now, couple of trade ideas. And not only this week, even last week, we had a fantastic time in the stock market. You can see this was on January 6th, Home Depot, and you can go and check it out. It was actually an entry at 338, and this thing is trading, I think, over 360 right now. We did not sell at 360, but this was a really nice setup that we took, and it actually went to the moon and still going. Here's another one. This is from today, guys. SLB. You can see opening SLB at opening. If you're desperate for a trade, play weekly $70 calls. Keep stop 35%. Of course, if it stays down over 5%, which was down at opening 5%, risk what you can afford. And this was up over 100%. Here's another one. You can see SMH. We took puts, we added more puts, and SMH was hitting all-time highs. What happened today? 376 came, and we took profit, some profit on this, still have some more left. Here's some more. You can see SMH was here. IBM that we took. This one we already took profit. We're not in this play anymore. And this was also fantastic. Then we got PANW, 300 shares, also called strike 190. And what happened to this one, guys? It was and an entry at gap fill reversal 178. And look at what happened on this one. Fantastic, went to the moon. This is Caterpillar right here, 570 puts. This one also paid. It came down significantly. So if you're really serious about trading and you want to do this and you want to make money, definitely head over to Patreon, check out their link down in the description, and you can start making money, especially when you're serious and you want to do this full time. On Amazon, stock is up 2%, so Amazon had a massive run and now it's getting really frothy and overbought. And you can see it's over 242. It can possibly press higher. And I'm going to put a line here so you guys can see because it was down and I don't think that was actually necessary to put anything here. But you can see this level right here about 251 or 250.52. That's going to be the big level to watch. If this thing can recapture that, there might be some more upside into the blue skies. But as of right now, I would not chase this. I would not even short this because earnings are right around the corner. So there is no play on Amazon after this big move up to the upside. Now, 242, that's going to be a key zone. Even today, it actually held. You can see right here, 241.88 low for the day. If that gives up, we could see a drop, especially down to 236, possibly into even 233, 50-day moving average, and where we had so much consolidation right here over this level here on Amazon. On Microsoft is down over 1%, and you can see Microsoft, they do have earnings coming out end of this month. So lots of earnings on the deck. And that's why I'm not really holding on to anything like Microsoft. I took these calls, especially right about here the other day, and I even called it for the, Patreon members, but it seems like nobody was interested because it was going down really crazy. But whenever, a big name like Microsoft or even Apple, I'll show you guys today. When it gets under lower Bollinger Band and gets oversold, typically you'll come back and retrace Bollinger Band. You'll see at least $5 to $6 move. I mean, on a big stock like Microsoft. But look at what happened yesterday. This thing had a massive run all the way up to 489. And I was really happy to sell into the rally. And just after I sold, look at what happened. We had a massive wick on top of this candle. I mean, this was a massive rejection off of this trend line, came back, and today we sold off more. And I'm not even buying anymore because of earnings. You can see it's coming up just a matter of 2 weeks. So Microsoft, I mean, this thing definitely does not look good, and you can see it's actually holding barely 478 blue line and this trend line. Under that, you'll see 473, and then possibly will go on and make a new low to the upside. 477, 478 can hold. Watch out for a move up to 480, and then this high right here, 489 to 492, which if this thing breaks and holds 492, that would be bullish for a move up to 500 to even 505, close the gap on top. On Google, stock it's up just over 1%. So Google, you can see back to back 2 days. Even today, I mean, it actually made a new high. But again, because of earnings season, I'm not actually playing Google. I'm not even trying to short it. Otherwise, this was actually fantastic opportunity. Even yesterday, but just for day trade. Because if you're trying to swing it, well, the earnings are going to be here very soon. And if you're holding through the earnings, people that are actually playing earnings. I don't recommend playing earnings. I don't play earnings unless I really have to. And that would be some, a smaller position. It's just gambling, and I don't like gambling. And you can see this thing went up, went outside the Bollinger Band, and what happened? We came within this Bollinger Band. We came back in. We did not actually closed at a brand new all-time high. So Google here, if this thing comes back, watch out for the support right here around 323. If that does not hold, we could be pulling back into the 5-day 319 and then 314, which is the level that has been holding for past couple of days right here. Underneath that, you'll see a flush easily down here. But as of right now, it's trading near all-time high. So watch out if this thing breaks and holds that previous all-time high, which is going to be around 328 and some change. We could see another all-time high, but you can see the Bollinger Band not fully extended. So I don't know how much more this thing can go. We'll definitely see some sort of a retracement back down to the 5-day, which is at 319, which we could see early as tomorrow if the data is bad. On Apple, stock is down 0.5%, so Apple is getting really oversold. RSI now at 26, so this thing is definitely getting hammered. And I was talking about this gap for multiple weeks, and finally we did close the gap at 264. We did not even hold there, and you can see a big flush, a gap down this morning. We did not even close the gap at 260, and now trading at 259. So moving forward, if this thing cannot hold 260 as a support going into tomorrow's session after filling this gap, we could see more downside all the way down to this 253 gap, and that would be a better dip. But as of right now, Apple, they also have earnings coming up, so be careful with whatever you're buying. Unless you're buying shares, then it's okay. Otherwise, I mean, this thing is really good opportunity when it comes to shares, and I might be, grabbing shares if this thing gets down here and even hold through earnings. But as of right now, because of earnings, I'm not doing much on Apple stock. To the upside, if this thing holds over 259 and closes the gap, we could see a push towards this resistance right here, 265. And you can see we spend so much time over 265, and now that's going to be a massive, massive resistance if this thing gets to that level 265, which can come tomorrow with some good data. On Nvidia stock is down over 2%, so Nvidia somehow was able to hold this 184. You can see it came down under 184, but it did hold the 20-day and this 184. A lot of rejection there, and it was holding. So Nvidia wasn't looking good past couple days. It was getting rejection right here about 192, 193, and today this thing just dumped. So tomorrow, especially with this gap down here, I don't know how this is going to play out, but Nvidia definitely doesn't look that good, especially at this level. Now, if this thing holds up here, we could see a push to this 50-day, which is at 186.7. And over that, you could see that move back up to 190. But as of right now, watch out for this 184 to hold. Otherwise, we could be coming down and closing this gap early as tomorrow, 181.45 on NVIDIA. On Broadcom, it's down over 3%. So what happened? You can see the bear flag definitely playing out. We came all the way down to where? Well, exactly that 330 support right about here. And then we found support and pretty much resting just above 330. So if this thing does not hold here, guys, I think it's easy to say that this gap is in play, especially when we get under this low, that 324. We went already under that low once, actually twice. If that's out, definitely it's coming down here to close the gap, which is near 308, 307. If this thing bounces back up, the only level that I would be watching that gets over that 357 mark, that would look more bullish. But as of right now, we're nowhere near 357. This was just a dead cat bounce, a bear flag that that actually played out and pretty much going to play out even more if this thing does not get a bounce over 356, 57 right about here. On Netflix is down 0.22%. So it's not looking pretty. And you can see it did not even hold 91.7. We talked about it in my video before that. The next stop would be 85 to 86, and we could be going there. But again, if the earnings are strong, the next one we have in a couple of weeks, we could see a big push to the upside because look at this right here. This was of a strong earnings, and then this thing just took off and never looked back. We hit brand new all-time highs, and now this thing had a massive drawdown here, guys. So if this thing bottoms out at some point, which is gonna happen at some point, you're gonna have plenty of upside. But it just who's the buyer and who's going to hold and how long they're going to hold. I think there is still huge, huge upside potential here on Netflix, but you gotta be patient because you're buying a falling knife. If you just try to rush things out and you're trying to get out quickly, this may not be the trade that you want. And even if you're shorting, I mean, you're gonna short right here, dead on the lows. I don't think that's a good idea. So Netflix is an opportunity. It depends how you want to take it. If we get over 91.7, we could see a move up to 94, but that's not happening unless something happens tomorrow. But as long as this thing remains below 91.7, it could go down. You can see doji type candle. So no decision made today. We'll see how that goes going into tomorrow's session. And that's all I have for you guys in this video. Thank you so much for watching, guys.